Many friends, colleagues, and readers have expressed curiosity about my views on Trump's election as president. Without question, Trump played with racial fire and helped mobilize both fringe groups, all old-fashioned racist organizations, and individuals, for example, David Duke, as well as animated the worst in the white masses during the campaign with his talk about building a wall. Mexico not sending their best people, but sending people that have lots of problems, who are bringing drugs and bringing crime, and they're rapists. A Muslim ban, his hesitation in condemning David Duke's endorsement, his comments about blacks living in ghettos, where you can't walk out in the street, you buy a loaf of bread and you end up getting shot, and many other things. He also has a problematic personal racial history. He was sued twice by the Department of Justice in the 1970s for discrimination in housing against blacks, and in the 1990s was fined by the New Jersey Casino Control Commission for discriminating against black dealers in his casino. His aversion to blacks had family roots, as his father, Fred Christ Trump, had a long record of anti-black views and actions that included participating, as a supporter, in a Klan rally when he was 21 years old. The question at hand is then whether we have racism without racists, or racism with racists. Some of my friends have even told me that my book finally reached the end of its life, given that now it is clear that we have racism with racists, period. In this 5th edition, I reiterate that the racial regime of post-civil rights America is still the new racism, and the dominant racial ideology that glues this order is colorblind racism. The Trump moment, in my view, illustrates 3 fundamental things. First, no racial regime exists in purity and isolation. That is, they always articulate various modes of domination. Therefore, the new racism is dominant, but it is not the only way of maintaining racial order. Jim Crow never died 100%, and its ideology has remained important in many sections of the nation and in segments of the white community. Second, racial regimes, much like economic ones, go through cycles. The Trump moment is quite similar to the Reagan era, 1980 to 1988, a moment where hate crimes and racial animosity increased in significant ways, in part because Reagan gave what the late Manning Marable termed as the green lights to racialist activity with comments on welfare mamas and many other things. Third, ideologies have different tones of expressions, and colorblind racism is no exception. I mentioned this since the book was first published in the chapter titled, Are All Whites Refined Archie Bunkers? And in the conclusion,